Okay, so we're diving deep today into some really interesting stuff about what's coming next for hotels.
Yeah, we've got a lot to cover. From the American Hotel and Lodging Association's 2025 State of the Industry report and some Asia-Pacific forecasts to how AI is changing things for corporate travel.
Plus, what SAS Airlines learned from their digital transformation. I mean, it's a lot, so let's just jump right in.
I think the biggest takeaway for hotels right now is this. You got to understand where your guests are coming from and what they want.
Right, and one of the things that jumped out at me is how much millennials and Gen Z are spending on travel these days.
Yeah. It's almost twice as much in 2023 as it was back in 2019. That's a huge shift.
It really is. And it's not just about how much they're spending, but what they're looking for in their travel experiences. These folks, they prioritize experiences over possessions.
That's a good point. And, a lot of their travel inspiration comes from what they see online. And in the media, like 70% say they've been inspired to visit a destination because of something they saw in entertainment media.
So like a movie or a TikTok video. Yeah, that's pretty powerful when you think about it. And when they do travel, they're really interested in supporting local businesses too.
Right, like 86% of them say they prefer to shop at small businesses when they're traveling. So if you're a hotel, think about how you can connect your guests with those local businesses and experiences.
Yeah, like maybe partnering with local artisans or featuring local food producers in your restaurant, things like that. I think that's a really great way to add value for those guests.
Definitely. And don't forget about the whole last-minute booking trend. A lot of these travelers are booking trips on the fly, 77% actually. So you've got to be able to adapt your pricing and marketing strategies to capture those spontaneous bookings.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's talk about something else that's really important, your staff. I mean, the AHLA report projects a 2.13% increase in total U.S. hotel wages for 2025.
And that's on top of a 25.60% increase from 2019. It's a pretty big jump.
It is. And, while this will impact your operational cost, it's also really important to see this as an investment in your commercial success.
Yeah, a well-compensated and engaged team is going to lead to happier guests, which means better reviews, more repeat business, and a stronger brand reputation. It all ties together.
It really does. Okay, so now let's talk about AI. I mean, this is changing everything about how people travel.
Absolutely. And Google is really leading the way here. Their new AI overviews in search are really amazing. People can just type in something like plan a nature-focused trip to Costa Rica, and they'll get a full itinerary with photos, reviews, and maps right there in the search results.
That's so cool. And it's not just itineraries. They're also doing price tracking for hotels now with email alerts for price drops.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So hotels need to make sure they're offering competitive rates and being transparent about their pricing across all platforms.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's the screenshot integration in Google Maps using Gemini. So like if someone takes a screenshot of a place they want to visit, Google can identify it and save it as a potential destination. It's pretty wild.
It is. And then you've got Gemini itself, which is becoming like a full-blown travel assistant. It can help people find budget-friendly flights, suggest YouTube videos about destinations, and even create custom AI travel planners called GEMs.
Wow. It sounds like Gemini is really stepping things up. And of course, there's Google Lens, which is basically an AI-powered tour guide now. People can point their phone at a landmark and get real-time information and translations.
It's pretty incredible. So, when you think about all of this, Google is really positioning itself at every stage of a travel journey.
Right, from inspiration to booking to actually being at the destination. And that means hotels need to be really smart about how they're showing up online.
Yeah, make sure your website is optimized for those natural language searches that people are using, and make sure you're offering a really great direct booking experience with perks they can't get anywhere else.
Good points. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the Asia-Pacific region. PETA is forecasting a big rebound in tourism there.
Yeah, they're projecting something like 813.7 million international visitors by 2027. That's up from 648.1 million in 2024. It's a big jump.
It is, and a lot of this growth is being driven by policy changes like China easing visa requirements and Thailand trying to make it easier to travel across multiple countries in the region.
Plus, they're making big investments in transportation infrastructure, and the market dynamics are changing too. China is expected to be the top source of both inbound and outbound travelers in the region by 2027.
That's interesting. I hadn't heard that before. So even if your hotel isn't in the Asia Pacific, you need to be thinking about how you can attract these travelers.
Yeah, maybe through targeted marketing or by adapting your services to better cater to their preferences. And, PETA also highlights some broader global trends that are shaping this recovery, things like economic and geopolitical shifts, technological advancements, and the growing focus on sustainable tourism.
Right. Those are all things that hotels everywhere need to be paying attention to.
Uh,
Okay, let's talk about corporate travel for a minute. I read a report recently about AI in corporate travel, and it seems like almost everyone is using it in some form, but a lot of companies are having trouble scaling their implementation.
Yeah, the report said over 90% of corporate travel programs are using AI and generative AI, but only about half of them are seeing a significant impact.
So what's holding them back?
Well, the report mentioned things like lack of internal expertise, budget constraints, and surprisingly limited support from their travel partners.
That's really interesting. So hotels have a real opportunity here to step up and be those supportive partners that corporate travel programs are looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Be tech forward,
Yeah.
make it easy for them to work with you and provide a seamless experience for their travelers. Those are all things that will make you stand out.
Okay, so last but not least, let's talk about what SAS Airlines learned from their digital transformation. I was listening to a podcast about this recently, and it sounds like they really turned things around.
Yeah, they decided to become a one-stop shop for travel, offering a platform that goes beyond just flights. And they're using customer data and AI to anticipate passenger needs and offer relevant services.
So hotels could do something similar, right? Like offering local tours, transportation options, or even curated experiences. It's about becoming more than just a place to sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another big takeaway from SaaS is that they decided to rebuild their outdated technology instead of just patching it up.
Yeah.
And I think that's something a lot of hotels need to think about too. Those old legacy systems can really hold you back.
And they can be really expensive to maintain in the long run. SAS also experimented with gamification for upgrades using real-time bidding. That's kind of a cool idea.
It is. And it's something that hotels could potentially explore as well, finding new and innovative ways to enhance the guest experience and drive revenue.
So to sum it all up, we're seeing some really big changes in the travel industry. Travelers are prioritizing experiences, AI is transforming everything, and the Asia-Pacific market is booming. Corporate travel is embracing technology, and hotels need to keep up.
It's all about understanding these trends and using them to your advantage. You've got to be adaptable, innovative, and focused on providing a truly exceptional guest experience.
So here's the question I want you to think about. What's one thing you can change at your hotel today to ensure your success in this new era of hospitality? What's one assumption you need to challenge, or one practice you need to reevaluate?
It's time to think beyond just filling rooms and start thinking about how you can create a truly holistic and memorable travel experience for your guests.
I think that's a great place to leave it. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.